All right, man, we back. Long time no see. I ain't been live in a minute, man, but I do appreciate everybody for checking in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video, man. Let's talk Lions season wrap up. Boogaloo shrimp salute. Appreciate it, man. Um, let's talk about Lions season wrap up. Obviously, they went 3-12-1. They got the third pick in the draft. Um, so that's the difference. Even if the Washington Red, we would have even with the win, even if we got a loss to Arizona, Washington would have got the top pick based off of strength of schedule. That's stupid. That head to head, don't take first. If a team beat you, that should take precedence in the standings. But no point to talk about that. We had a draw with Arizona. Season started off. I mean, season started off shaky with Arizona. I mean, people started to blame the defense. I felt the offense should have scored more points, but evidently, I mean, it all fell apart. Um, through the season, man. Stafford, like I said, he was injured coming into the season. People saying I was hating, but I was just telling the truth. I'm telling you, nobody gets a new offensive coordinator and hasn't rested in training camp in in 11 seasons, 10 seasons, and then they rest in training camp. That doesn't happen. But um, really, when you look at this season and go back to last season, um, even when you look back to this season, last season, when you look at this season and go back to last season, um, when they didn't rush Stafford down the stretch, I mean, nobody could have foreseen his wife having issues, and I'm pretty sure we knew we have a new offensive coordinator. They knew, got Darrell Bevel, but he wasn't healthy, so he re-injured himself. That was he played 8 games this season, I believe. Yep, 8 games this season. He injured himself. I mean, it was a lot of highs and lows. They started off, two 0-1. Um, had a shootout with Kansas City. Defense let us down, even though they forced some turnovers. The Green Bay game, I think that's when I knew the season was over with. Frederick Fax Tellerman, salute. That's when I knew the season was over with. When they lost to Green Bay in that fashion, I just knew the season was going downhill there. Um, had another shootout with Minnesota, lost by 12. Beat New York, and then they lost to the Raiders, and that's when Stafford. That's the last game Stafford played. And then we know the history: lost to the Bears, lost to the Cowboys, lost to the Skins, lost to the Bears, lost to the Vikings, lost to the Bucks, lost to the Broncos, and lost to the Green Bay Packers. So, um, people say, well, Matthew Stafford was hurt, but before Stafford was injured, this team had a lot of issues. Still wasn't running the ball well. Protecting the quarterback, it was adequate this year. You know what I'm saying? You can't have Driscoll and Blog come in and they were serviceable. You know what I'm saying? It's just the talent around them wasn't good enough, but they still couldn't run the ball. Um, and that was the biggest point offensively. I mean, Hawkinson. I mean, you could just go through. Hawkinson was a up and down season, but tight ends are like cornerbacks. Sometimes it take a couple years to catch on to. So I don't get mad at Armani Rockley when he got healthy. He played well, very very well. I think he gonna be a starting corner next year, with or without Darius Slay, and I'll get to all of that good stuff in a minute. Um, the kid from Clemson, he didn't play that much. Um, but the three that stuck out to me was Tavai. Tavai stuck out to me, and that was the one. Will Harris, he played good at the end. I don't know if he'll be a starter in this league or not. But Tavai, I think with some more practice, he'll be okay. But the one thing I take away um, from the rookie class was they got a lot of dudes that got injured or were injury prone. The guy from Clemson came in with an injury. Tavai's season ended with the same shoulder injury that kept him out his senior year. Amani Rockley, he got injured. You know what I'm saying? When Will Harris replaced Quadre Diggs, then Tracy Walker, he got injured. So, the rookie class, was okay. Nothing special about it. I don't think anybody was raving about the class, but I do think they got three special players out the class, and Armani, Tavai, and Hawkinson. I do think they're gonna be special down the line. Now, will Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn be there to see to reap the fruits of their labor? I don't know, but you look at the free agents, Coleman. You know, when you look at Coleman, I think he was a product of not being overrated. I think he was a product of not having a pass rush. And when you don't have a pass rush and you playing man to man in the slot, that's tough. So when you're not your line not getting no push, it ain't nothing he can do about it. And the line depth was a weakness coming in. Even if the line was healthy, you looked at it was what Robinson, Hand, Harrison, and Trey Flowers, and then you had Kennard and Romeo Rockwell. We had depth issues already, even before Deshaun Hand went out, and they put so much onus on Deshaun Hand coming in and doing this job that when Hand fell off, it was no real plan behind him. Mike Daniels still was injured. Is the reason why he got cut from Green Bay, but I like the risk. And Devin Kennard, he's just not athletic enough. When you look at the Detroit Lions defense, it's just Supreme Megan G salute, Frederick salute. And I'll get to all that draft stuff in a minute. I got you. But when you look at the defense, they slow. You know what I'm saying? The Lions defense up front is very slow. And then the guys they do that can run, and Jared Davis, he not that good. He can't cover, he can't tackle. You similar tackle the quarterback, he run past him. He just don't know how to control his speed, and it's this. They old and they slow. Christian Jones, Tavai, he okay. He not the most athletic. Kennard slow. They big and slow in the front seven. And when you think as a defense that's supposed to be strong and big in the front seven, you supposed to think at least they'll be able to stop the run. At least they'll be able to wrap up and tackle. At least they'll be able to deliver big hits. And then when you big and you don't have a lot of athleticism in your front seven, you got to be able to form tackle. You got to be able to stop the run, and you got to be strong. And you got to be able to, to push the pocket, and they ain't do that. The Lions lack athleticism, and the Patriots defense over time is one of the reasons I really didn't care for their defense. They lack athleticism. Mike Vrabel, Teddy Bruschi, wasn't no real athleticism up there. Richard Seymour, he was a bigger guy. He was pretty athletic, but Chandler Jones, he was all right, but he wasn't Simeon Rice, or he wasn't isn't Javon Curse up front, or he wasn't Von Miller. They really don't believe in those electric pass rushers. They believe in big, thick linebackers, big, thick defensive linemen, and they believe in playing downhill, and they got their athleticism in the back end. The Lions, the Lions is built the same way. The Lions are big and strong. Other than Davis in the middle, they big and strong with no athleticism up front. You know what I'm saying? They most athletic players in the front seven. If you're looking at the starters, Davis, and just in the base package, Davis, Kennard, Jones, Flowers, Harrison, Hand, and whoever else you want to put out there with them. The most athletic in the two tiers is Davis and Deshaun Hand. They're the most two athletic players in the front seven. In this league, you got to be able to run. You know what I'm saying? All them dudes up front, except for those guys at their position, in defense, if you put Deshaun Hand at the end, then he is slightly above athletic defensive end. You put him at a 3 technique, then he's a superior athlete inside. Davis the athlete regardless, but he's not a football. He don't have football skills. So when you look at this Detroit defense, the weakness is the front seven. I'm not too concerned about Coleman. I'm not concerned about Melvin and Armani and Darius Slay. I'm not concerned about Tavon or Will Harris or Tracy Walker, because a team is built from the trenches on out. And if your front seven is big and physical and strong, and they can't stop the run and they slow, you're going to have problems. They don't have a lot of athletes up front. But that's how the Patriots defense is built. That's why Calvin Noy didn't fit in what Terrell Austin was trying to do, but he fit when he went to the Patriots. They like them pluggers, but then when you get a team like Derrick Henry that's physical like the Titans, that's built like it's supposed to be built, they had no answer for him. Up front. You know what I'm saying? You need a certain level of speed up front, but that's the problem with the Detroit Lions defense. They didn't have enough athleticism. They didn't have enough pass rush up front, so the back end suffered. That's the story. That's the story of the season right there. When you look at the defense, other than even if Matthew Stafford wasn't healthy, there's no way he was going to be able to put up points if he can't keep up with Oakland. You know what I'm saying? The front seven is slow, and I'll get to questions in a second. But what's going on, Michael? Salute. The front seven was slow, and they couldn't stop the run. They couldn't push the pocket. They was not good at nothing. So then you got a guy in the slot that's covering dudes man to man. And not only was the Julian Edelmans of the world or the Randall Cobbs of the world, I'm just throwing slot receivers out there, or whoever played in the slot, Justin Coleman was facing, he was facing some good receivers in the slot. You know what I'm saying? They could put Diggs or Thielen in the slot, and Chicago could put Allen Robinson in the slot. Anthony Miller, not bad. I mean, the kid that came from Ohio State, McClendon, whatever it is, that you could put him in the slot. So a lot of teams, moving, Michael Thomas is at the slot, the Julios, the DeAndre Hopkins. A lot of teams moving their big receivers to the slot because there's really it's an acquired taste. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to move into the slot because it's a three-way go. I can go left, I can go right, I can go deep. You know what I'm saying? On the outside, the boundary is my third defender. And when you get to throwing outside the hashes, you gotta be accurate, and you gotta have that timing. Comeback routes, out routes, speed outs, corner routes, those are accuracy routes. And if the quarterback not accurate, then it's thrown out of bounds. If the receiver can't get 2 feet in bounds, then it's out of bounds. You go to the slot, man. That's a lot of space and real estate to cover. Everybody can't cover the space. That's the slot. That's technique. So Coleman had the toughest job of any Detroit Lion this season. Probably not named Matthew Stafford. Any rookie, any kicker, any punter, any coach. His toughest job was guarding, slot receivers man to man. That's damn near impossible. Even if you got help over the top, what if you run a corner route? That deletes that deletes the help over the top. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If you single high with no robber in the middle, he run a post route, and your robber bite on another fake. That's you one on one with a receiver on the post route. You know what I'm saying? He had like he going on a fly route, and then he stopping and do an in cut, a dig route. Then what? That's a tough position. So I don't put nothing against Justin Coleman. He had an impossible job to do this year. He didn't get the opportunity of 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? This dude was in 10, 13, 14 for some situations. So he had a tough job. So I don't say he was a failure. I just think he failed to get hero support. You know what I'm saying? You look at Trey Flowers. You look at what he did. He didn't have no support. You rushing 3 and 4. You ask him to go out there and do what? He got double more than any other Lion. You got Snacks out here. He don't rush the passer. Robinson, he don't brush the passer. Kennard, you don't know if he rushing or he dropping. So I mean, he didn't get a lot of support this year. It ain't fair to bash Flowers. It ain't fair to bash Justin Coleman coming in. If you want to be frank, you want to be honest. Where was the help? Their help was built. Their help was all predicated on Deshaun Hen duplicating or taking a step or two above what he did last year. And when he wasn't healthy and they scrambled and they thought about bringing Ricky John back and they brought in Mike Daniels, it was a wrap. You have to have depth amongst the D-line. That's one thing the Lions have, from Sean Rogers to Luther Ellis, Robert Porcher-Diggs to Ndamukong Suh, Vanden Bosch to Zeke Ansah. This team has always had significant depth on the front line, and now they don't. It's a different regime. When Jim Schwartz is here, he kept a George Johnson. He kept somebody, Sue and Vander Bosch, and you go to Sammy Hill, and you go to C.J. Mose. He kept guys that a rotation in that push the pocket. The Lions' strength is no longer the front line, the front four. That's what's lacking. One man can't do that job by himself, especially rushing 3 or 4. If you're gonna rush 4, then you got to go out there and you got to get Trey Flowers, a running mate on the edge that's gonna rush predominantly at a time and not drop sometimes. You got to get a 3 technique that can get up the middle, and then you got to be able to have a plugger. But when you have a plugger, then will the plugger be full time? You gonna have to be in on rundowns, and then on passing downs of Harrison. If he don't retire and not get there, you gotta plug him in with another 3 technique or a defensive end that can get up the field. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what they running is, I don't understand pretty much what they running of. I understand what they running, but I don't understand the train of thought of building this roster. I don't understand it. Because there was no depth in front of the front line and everything suffered. There's no depth at linebacker. They big, they physical, but they not physical. They can't stop the run. They can't get after the pass. So if you want to know what's wrong with the defense, look no further than the personnel up front. Davis, the starter, not good. They throw Tavai out there. He's still learning. Christian Jones, Devin Kennard. Somebody Michael asked in the comment section, they bring Devin Kennard back. As a backup. All they linebackers out there, when you look at when they brought out there as starters for the 2019 season, Davis, Jones, and Kennard, they backups. They backups. They are. They second team. They bench warmers. They players that play in situational football. They situational players. They're not starters out there. In today's football, Coleman is actually your starter out there, except for substituting to Jones. So when you go out there, you need another linebacker, and this is why they probably should have took Bush and Tavai last year. Take both of them, be set at linebacker for life. Look at Tampa. They got the Devin Smith guy and the Levante Davis. You know what? And if you want to really, you really want to go out there and put a base package out there against 3 receivers or whatever they're throwing out there, and you don't want to go in the nickel all the time and sacrifice in the run game with a corner, then you're going to need a Devin Bush, a guy that can run, receivers cover slots, or you're going to play zone coverage. It's really not star power. They don't have speed. You look at the Patriots defense, all their star power is where? It's in the back end. McCourty, Stephon Gilmore. Give me 1 second. McCourty, Stephon Gilmore. You know what I'm saying? Give me 1 second. Somebody sent me something. Yes, McCourty, Stephon Gilmore in they front. Who we looking at? Hightower, he really ain't, he really ain't popped like he was supposed to. They gave up Chandler Jones. Who else in their front seven? Vanoy ain't no star. I really can't think. Some of the guys, the Wiseman ain't no star. Whoever the good dude is I was watching, they don't have any star power up front. They are system front. And that's what Patricia trying to run. There's no star power in the front end. The Patriots believe in putting star power in the back end and basically, disguising coverage, whatever the hell they do. You know what I'm saying? They just don't have enough up front. It's not enough talent. But that's what's wrong with the defense. I'm not worried about the back end at all. Do they need another safety that can fill what Quadre Diggs did? Yeah. But I think they got enough support in the back end with Slay, Armani Araqui, you know what I'm saying, with Tracy Walker and Justin Coleman. They got it. That's a Super Bowl. That's good enough to make it to the Super Bowl. And I know we nowhere close to the Super Bowl, but there's nowhere close to the Super Bowl. I don't know why I said 3 weeks ago. But they nowhere close to the Super Bowl. But I'm just saying, look at the Eagles secondary that made it to the Super Bowl. That team is, that back end for the Lions is adequate enough. It's just they don't have no players on the front end, no depth, no athleticism. You know what I'm saying? And the scheme suck. You know what I'm saying? They man to man, and they just start playing zone when people start dropping like flies. So, like I said before, man, I think Coleman and Trey Flowers I believe they earned the benefit of the doubt. This wasn't their fault this season. He said Jeff Okudah out of Ohio State can totally help the secondary. The secondary don't need if they trade Darius Slay, then I get it. But no, a cornerback, that's the least of their problems. That's the least of their problems. I'm doing one tonight. He said I'll take draft questions in a minute. Let me finish up. If you don't have no push up front, it don't matter who back there. The secondary is totally cool unless you telling me they trade. I would not take Jeff Okudah at number 3. He doesn't solve a problem. In the intermediate, he doesn't solve a problem. Down the line, he solves a problem. But right now, you need linebacker help. You need defensive tackle help. You need a pass rusher. You need kind of double up on everything. Well, I won't say double up. You need another linebacker. You need a guy that matched Trey Flowers fly. You need a plugger if Damon Harrison walk away. And then you need somebody to back up Deshaun Hand. And then you need a plugger to back up Damon Harrison. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense, plugger, because Harrison might go. Then you need somebody just in case this guy get hurt. You know what I mean? They front seven, man. Just remember what they when they had with Mosley and Sammy Hill. And there was another guy they kept bringing back. I can't remember his name, but it was another guy that kept coming back. But he was productive. I don't know what happened to him. And they had shit. I forget the dude's name. Cliff Averill, Vandenbosch, and Dominic Sue, Nick Fairley. They had two starting D lines. That's what you need. You need two. You need dudes that can plug in and get after the passer. Fluellen, that's his name. Good looking. It was an Andre Fluellen. Good looking. I knew somebody was gonna remember his name. You need depth. Then you need playmakers in the secondary. I mean, in the linebacker core. Tavai, I rock with him. But then you need somebody like Devin Bush, Devin Smith to go next to him, and you probably need a pass rusher. So at the end of the day, if you actually going by need on the defense, like you can go many ways. You can say, I mean, and it got to be in the front seven. You need a linebacker. Well, you're going to start off with. You probably want to start off with the defensive tackle position. You need a D tackle. You need an edge rusher. You need a linebacker. Those are the three top needs right there. If you keep on the defensive side of the ball today, then you need another defensive tackle. You know what I'm saying? That can, if you don't get a rusher, you need a plugger. If you get a plugger, you need a rusher. You need another edge rusher. But remember, you got free agency, you got extra fifth round pick. But real talk, I'm not counting on that kid from Clemson. I'm not counting on him. Sean Cody, he was from USC. I remember him. So if you look at it, this and if you all about defense, defense, your back end, you got players. You got players in the back end. If you want to trade Darius Slade, then you want to talk about Jeff Okudah, whatever his name is. But a cornerback is the same situation as taking a tight end. Unless you tell me he's Marcus Peters or he's Marshawn Lattimore in his rookie year. But Marcus Peters went to Kansas City. They had Justin Houston, and they had D Ford, which I still hate to this day for jumping off sides last year. And he out there capping for the dude that was talk racist about Lamar Jackson, but that's another conversation for another day. And you look at Marshawn Lattimore, they got Cameron Jordan up front, and they had a pretty good push up front. You don't want to put a rookie cornerback without a front line because you can't cover in this league. You can't hold. You can't jam past 5 yards. So a cornerback is irrelevant when you can't get pushed. This is why Justin Coleman don't look good. This is why Darius Slay got to go out there and cover fucking Keenan Allen for 10 years. They got to build the front. And how you actually build a team is from the trenches on out. You start off in the trenches and you build on out. So you getting a quarterback. So if you want to get a quarterback, then you need a left tackle. You know what I'm saying? Or you want to start off with a left tackle, find a quarterback, there be it. Then you want an offensive line, defensive line. Bob Quinn tried to do it. Look at his track record. Taylor Decker, Graham Glasgow. You know what I'm saying? He brought A'Shawn Robinson in. He tried to build the defense, the lines. T.J. Lang, Rick Wagner, Travis Swanson came from somewhere. I mean, he tried to build it. Wiggins and Dal and whoever else he put amongst that D line, but he just been missing. He said, "Do you think this team went from the top 10 defense in Patricia first year to I think 30th this past season? I would like to see there was more talent on the defense this past year." Let me think. Was this defense top 10 last year? Was it? At the end of the day, I can't tell you if it was more talent. I have to look it up. But looking at the defense last year, you still had Nevin Lawson out there. I believe last year. You had Quadre, the healthy Quadre. This year he wasn't so healthy. Glover Quinn ended up walking away or something, whatever it was. He didn't play that much. The linebacker, you had a healthy Davis. Davis wasn't healthy this year. Kennard seemed to be a little bit more effective later in the year and middle of the year than he was this year. I'll give you that. Davis was more healthy last year. You know, Zeke Johnson, when he was healthy, he was a problem, but he wasn't healthy. You know what I'm saying? And Damon Harrison was fresher when he got here than he was last year. I think what I think it was is I think the NFL actually adjusted and the NFC North adjusted to Matt Patricia playing style. Matt Patricia just didn't make enough adjustments. They knew what he wanted to do. They knew he wanted to man up. They knew what he was trying to do, and they made an adjustment. So he actually got to make an adjustment. But um, I'll take draft questions in a minute. So give me 1 second. But um, he said he sucked this year. Ziggy Ansah sucked this year. Yeah, he need to sit a year out. I said that. What's up, Rafi? I said that last year. I was saying he need to take sit a year out and get healthy. I mean, we can talk about they need to hire a GM or coach, but that's not happening. Zutumbo, y'all barely beat the Eagles with a backup quarterback. If it wasn't for Jadeveon Clowney injuring Carson Walker to him, limping to a win, y'all would have lost last night, man. So I wouldn't be in here beating my chest as a Seahawks fan. Jadeveon Clowney made the MVP Player of the Year last year for y'all. Last night to y'all. So I wouldn't be I wouldn't be in here beating my chest about a Seahawks victory over a franchise who missed like 20 motherfucking starters. You know what I'm saying? Josh McCown, if he was a little bit more active, he was the one that was with Chicago that year that Jay Cutler said he would have beat the Seahawks yesterday, man. But you know, he said the first Patricia is when they went 6-10. Yeah, I understand that. See, I just remember the roster who was out there because they had a terrible run defense as well into Damon Harrison. They probably was top 10 like the last 5-6 games of the year or some shit like that. But I mean, defensively, that's pretty much what I got to say. And also, I'll be mad if I didn't say this. Paul Pasqualoni was a scapegoat, man. That's Patricia defense, and that's what Patricia is known for. Mike Lombardi came on 97 won the ticket one Saturday. And I remember I was coming from Myers, and I was listening to it in the car before I went in and watched the game. I think I was playing the Vikings, and he basically said Patricia was known for basically not being aggressive and calling blitzes or whatever. He said, you know, we played our level. We played to our man. Y'all almost lost that game, man. We'll see next week. I'm pulling for the brother Wilson, but at the end of the day, you know, that's his calling card. Not a lot of pressure. You know, you don't see a lot of stunts from them. You don't see a lot of a lot of blitzes, no crossfires, no deception. He straight meat and potatoes, bro. He straight. You know what you're gonna get, and you know when you play vanilla defenses and you don't disguise coverage or you don't stun or you don't blitz, you got to have hell of a players up front for your back end to play man to man. So I mean, we can harp on the defense all day, but that's just what the defense is. The defense lacks talent in the front end and it lacks creativity from the head coach Matt Patricia. You know, the back end that's good enough to be winners. You know, with or without Quadre, that's good enough to be winners. You know what I'm saying? If your front end is giving pressure, look at Philly. Their front end wasn't nothing when they won the Super Bowl. Their back end wasn't nothing, but their front end is everything. Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, shout out to him, Detroit. His uncle coached me in high school. I mean, look at their front end, their front seven. They wreak havoc. They stop the run. They can get after the passer. That's the recipe. A recipe for a winning football team. And you go back and look at it, is running the ball, stopping the run, getting after the quarterback. You got to have a quarterback that can make the throws when need be, and I believe Stafford can. Look at Ryan Tannehill just past Saturday. He had to make one throw out of the whole game. It was a corner route. They doubled the dude in the slot. White guy from Harvard, can't remember his name. And how do you beat double teams? Over the top, you run a corner route. You know what I'm saying? You run the post, then he doubled. You can run a speed out, but he need to get to a stick. So do you really want to run a deep out? No. You run a corner route. And he made the perfect catch to the corner, perfect pass on the corner route. You know, people say, "Oh, the Seahawks carry Russell Wilson to the Super Bowl." No, Russell Wilson had to make a key throws. You know, but looking at the offense, I mean, got the offensive coordinator. If they figure out how to run the ball, you don't need an All Pro defensive line. You know, offensive line, excuse me. They figure out how to run the ball. I mean, they can protect Stafford. They can put longevity on his career. Remember, John Elway was another guy that made it to several Super Bowls in the '80s. He couldn't win one a breakthrough until they run the ball. No matter how good of a passer you was, unless you run the ball, you know, you gonna be the frozen one. You're gonna not have playoff wins and not be victorious. So the Lions need to run the ball. And do you need an all-pro, Great Wall, or Larry Allen, and all those guys? No, you need some guys that's tough. You need a little bit of athleticism to pull. You need a left tackle that can run block, that can really pass block. You need a right tackle that can run block. You need some good guards that understand the scheme. You got a good center. I feel like you got a solid guard in Graham Glasgow. If they keep him, they keep him. If not. But right now, Rick Wagner, he got to get up out of here. That was bad. Lang didn't do too well. So Glasgow might get out here. So you got an offensive line where if they come out here and drag out Taylor Decker next year, I don't have a lot of faith in it. So in actuality, this team is starting off from the beginning. They need a left tackle. They need a left guard. They need a right guard. They need a right tackle. If they believed in Terrell Crosby, Terrell Crosby, he would have been playing that right tackle this season over Rick Wagner. There's no way he could be no worse. He wouldn't be playing that guard. So Rick Wagner, free agent. So you're looking at it from that aspect. Right then and there, then other than the offensive line and in the running the ball and protecting Stafford, which they didn't do bad protecting Stafford this year. But at the end of the day, you want to be able to run the ball. You know what I'm saying? And I think they need to invest into good run blocking offensive line. But they didn't do bad protecting Stafford this year at all. But that ain't really been the problem. The main problem is they haven't had 1,000-yard rushers since Reggie Bush, and before then James Stewart. And to put it to perspective, when James Stewart came from Jacksonville, that was the first year after Barry retired. So, that's their primary number one thing they should be attacking this offseason is running the ball. Was it that James Stewart was a one-hit wonder? Was it that Kevin Jones wasn't good enough? Was it that Java Best wasn't good enough? Was it that Reggie Bush, Drake Bill wasn't good enough? Was it? Keep going on. Amir Abdullah wasn't good enough, or is your system allowing players to get marginalized and not do well? I think it's the system. And one of the reasons that I really kind of wanted Gary Kubiak to be the offensive coordinator is because Gary Kubiak has the system that produced a lot of 1,000-yard backs, from Clem Portis to Gary Anderson to Terrell Davis, a 6th-round draft pick. The zone running scheme is a one-cut scheme where it's foolproof if you run it the right way. It's a system for offensive line that's proven to work. The chop block or the cut blocks and it's like it said, a zone running scheme. It's like a 2-3 zone. You just blocking your individual. You just blocking the area. You're not blocking the individual blocker. You blocking the area. So they need a system where it works, and that's one of the reasons I wanted Gary Kubiak. But Darrell Bevell did a great job this year. But this is a dude that had a ton of success running the ball with Adrian Peterson and Marshawn Lynch, and even with mobile quarterbacks like Taraj Jackson, and he had quarterbacks like Farad and guys like Russell Wilson. Why can't they run the ball in Detroit and they feel like it's a curse? It's at a point where it's DEFCON 10,000 for the Lions. It's at the point where they need a guy. They need an offensive line that's dope, and they need a running back that's Saquon Barkley dope, that's Zeke Elliott dope. They need a top flight running back. You know what I'm saying? And you can go a lot of different ways with this team, but it's a total rebuild. What's wrong with the offense? Can't run the ball. That goes with the running back. That goes with the with the line. That's not the quarterback problem. With the as successful as Matthew Stafford is at throwing the rock, you think it would be running lanes open for the running backs to run and hit the hole and pick up first down, knowing that there's no 8-man in the box, there's no 9-man. Sometimes it ain't even nobody in the box other than the front four and maybe a linebacker, and the rest dropping in coverage. Think about that for a minute. How ain't the offense? How is not running backs in that system not successful over the years? Either it's a curse, or it's the system that's marginalizing the players. So when you have a system problem, you got to get a system that work, or you got to get players that's exceptional. So it's time to get exceptional players. But other than that, what else is the problem with the Detroit Lions offense? Other than running the ball, the second biggest problem is a lack of team speed, offensively and defensively. Defensive, the most team speed, the fastest group on the team. It's probably any fucking team. It's the defensive backs. Walker can run, Coleman can run, Slay can run, Melvin is cool, Armani can run. You know what I'm saying? Those are the fact. Look at the receivers. Who really running by somebody? Don't give me Marvin Hall. Marvin Hall, He nice, but he ain't no Deshaun Jackson. They don't have no home run hitters. They never did, other than Java Best and Calvin Johnson and maybe a couple of trick guys here and there. Where's the speed on this offense? Where's the speed? Why do Stafford got to go up the field when he threw that ball to Kenny Galladay? And Galladay can run a bit, but I mean elite speed. I'm talking Chris Johnson, Tyreek Hill. I mean guys like that, Saquon Barkley. You know what made the Lions back in the day so good? You know, they had Brett Peterman. You had Herman Edwards, Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders, you can get a ball to Barry in. You know, whoever the quarterback was, Kramer, Batch, whoever the quarterback was, Rodney Peete, Scott Mitchell, they didn't have to go up the field, 10, 20 play drive. You could toss it to Barry, hand to Barry, and it's the equalizer. The Lions don't have speed. They don't have speed. Who Amendola running by? Marvin Jones at one point in his career, he was pretty fast. But who he running by? Galladay, he can run a bit, but guess what? He got caught by was it Jair Alexander? In Green Bay, had he scored that touchdown, hey, we not even sitting here talking about getting robbed. Why do Matthew Stafford got to go up the field consistently 10, 15, 20 plays? Why he can't just dump it off to somebody on a jailbreak, right, or a bubble screen or a 5-yard hitch, and they can go to the crib? You know what I'm saying? I mean, when the last time they had somebody that was explosive? You know what I'm saying? And don't give me that Matthew Stafford deep ball crap. His deep ball has improved over the years. It used to be straight line, frozen rope. Now he can drop it into the bucket. So don't give me that. They need somebody that's explosive. A few guys. That's what the NFL is going to. Look at the Baltimore Ravens. Quarterback explosive. And then they got Hollywood Brown, Willie Snead. And they got Mark Andrews, who's pretty explosive for a tight end to get up the field. It's all about speed. Kenny Galladay, he good. He can do it all. He an all-purpose guy. But you need a Deshaun Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Who else you got out there that can really stretch the defense out, man? That's really good, man. Tyreek Hill. You know, this team lacks speed. You need those guys. You know what I'm saying? Look at the Seattle, man. You be like, who the fuck is the Seattle Seahawks receivers for the most part? Tyler Lockett, he can run. DK Metcalf, he can run. Moore, he can run. Wilson, he can make some things happen. Carson, the Jones, whatever his name is, the Carson running back, he can get some things done. But they got receivers that can get vertical. Green Bay, you know what I'm saying? They got big receivers, but they got some. Aaron Jones is pretty shifty. Devontae Adams can get vertical. They don't have the weapons that they once had, you know what I'm saying? Greg Jennings can fly, and Donald Driver is a good route runner, but the NFL is going towards dudes that can really get up and down the field. You look at the running backs, they need a running back that's just the truth. You know, they need a running back that's the God honest truth. And whoever just made that comment, you're right. They need a running back that's elite. They need a running back that's truly, truly elite. No more playing no games. You might have to get a McCaffrey, who else you got out there? McCaffrey, a Saquon, a Zeke Elliott. They need a truly elite running back. And if the Lions reached and they took a guy like J.K. Dobbs, or they dropped down and took a guy like J.K. Dobbs, Fred Jackson, salute. That wouldn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't matter, dude. Somebody that could break away. They dropped down and got multiple picks for the third pick, and they took a D, what's his name? D Lamb, whatever his name is, and they took a Jonathan. I would get it. I get it, man. It's no need that's more than another need for the Lions. To me, this team is at ground zero. It's at ground zero. You just getting talent where you need to get it at, because usually I say, you know what, you build the trenches first and then you put talent on the outside. But Bob Quinn has already done that. Brian Quinn did that. I mean, look at his history. And I don't have the information in front of me, but look at his history. The whole offensive line is him. Left tackle Taylor Decker. The guards Wiggins and Dow, that's him. Ragnow, that's him. Graham Glasgow, that's him. Lang at that position, that's him. Rick Wagner at right tackle, that's him. Terrell Crosby, that's him. The defensive line, he brought Damon in. Real talk with DeJuan Salute. They brought Damon in. That's fact. They brought Trey Flowers in. They brought Kennard in. They brought Hen in. They brought Robinson in. Oh, that's him. He rebuilt the trenches. He rebuilt the trenches. Now we talk about running backs. I mean, at the end of the day, you just need somebody that you need somebody that can do it all, or you can get a running back that can complement Kerryon Johnson. However you want to do it, but you need somebody that can break away. But if it's me personally, and I haven't done a full evaluation, so excuse my ignorance. I don't have a lot of time in the day, but I will. But excuse my ignorance. But my favorite player I've seen thus far in this draft is the kid from Jerry Jeudy. That's my favorite player in the draft so far. I haven't seen them all. I like Jordan Love. You know what I'm saying? Chase Young, I don't see it. Like people see, I do some more homework, but I don't see how good the greatness in him. You know what I'm saying? But if we talking about the draft and special teams, I think Sam Martin's a free agent, and we kind of talk about free agency as the time comes. All right, you don't know who's gonna get tagged, who's not gonna get tagged, as well. Skino Bino, salute. That boy, salute. So he said the offense was ranked 7th before Stafford got hurt, but they only had 2 wins, right, or 3 wins, right? So I don't want to hear about stats or what they ranked. Without a running game, the offense is still not. It wasn't sufficient enough. The Lions have been ranked high in offense before, and what does it mean? We talking about building a winner year in and year out. They need to run the ball a lot better. So if I had one area where I really wanted to focus on this offseason, and it would probably be the running game, whatever that may be. Is that if that's bringing in a new offensive line coach, which will happen, if that's bringing in a new running back, that has to happen. If that's bringing in a new left tackle, a new right tackle, that has to happen. You have to get a left guard. Do you bring back Glasgow? I don't mind it. Glasgow can be part of a successful offensive line, but at what price? You know what I'm saying? But the one position they have to shore up is the tackle positions. You can't have 2 pedestrian tackles and be anything in this league. Why did the Texans go get Larry Tunsil? He said that, but because our defense has been top in the league before, right? Remember? Top 5, top 7 a year with Terrell Austin. But what was the problem? They can't run the ball. The run game is the one thing that benefits both sides of the ball. Even with you passing the ball or up and down the field, that doesn't benefit the defense as the run game do, because the run game keep the opposing offense off the field. You know what I'm saying? It keeps the offense off the field. So guess what? When you go against offenses and you eating the time up and you running the ball down their throat, not only is the defense getting tired, the offense don't have a rhythm. So now they go 3 and out. That tired defense back on the field. That's the one thing the Lions they had. Lions had top 5, top 7 defenses, top 5, top 7 offenses. But where's the run game been? The run game is one of the main ingredients you need to be successful. The year the Green Bay Packers won the Super Bowl, James Starks was running the ball pretty well, and that's what opened it up for Aaron Rodgers. When the Dallas Cowboys playing well, it's running the ball. You know, why has Lamar Jackson got the drop on everybody else? Because of the run game. Why is San Francisco so good? Because they got 3 running backs that can get it done. Coleman, Breida, and Morstead. Why Aaron Rodgers the offense looked more efficient? Not because Mike McCarthy done the offense look more efficient, because Matt LaFleur knew he had to get Aaron Jones involved. That's what Mike McCarthy failed at. A lot of Cowboy fans are excited about Mike McCarthy. And I'm not shitting on their parade. I'm not arguing with him. I made a post on my Facebook, my personal. I said that, it's a slight upgrade from Jason Garrett. They got mad. I mean, I'm cool. I'm not arguing with nobody in 2020. Argue with the regular guys. You know who I go back and forth with. We argue, we debate. But the reason I said McCarthy is not a huge upgrade is because McCarthy don't want to run the ball. That's the biggest difference. McCarthy had way better weapons in other years that he didn't win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. He had way better weapons. But what did Matt LaFleur do different? Matt LaFleur came and simplified shit. Name me the receivers they got over there. Devontae, he ain't been healthy. Jimmy Graham is who? Scantley and who are these other guys they have? They have better receivers in years past. Geronimo ain't done nothing. The difference is the Williams guy is spelling Jones, and Jones is the ultimate weapon. They kept it simple. Aaron Rodgers ain't really never had that where he can get a ball to Aaron Jones and he can throw a swing route. He can throw a Texas route. He can hand the ball off to him. He can a screen. This dude can take it to the house. It's the difference. He can hand the ball off to him. That's the difference. He more important than having a Randall Cobb out there, a Jordy Nelson out there with Devontae Adams. He's their MVP. And that's what the Lions need, a guy like that. Yeah, Frederick Williams, salute, man. Be safe. So if you ask me personally, and I take my personal feelings out for like Jerry Jeudy, I take my personal feelings out for like I don't know, maybe Jordan Love early on. I mean, he'd be a second round, third round pick or quarterback. And I'm looking at this with clarity. One thing I want to shore up is the run game. I want to shore up the run. That's my first priority. I want to get the best offensive line coach out there. I want to get the best veteran right tackle out there, or the best left tackle out there. Usually, I prefer to go younger at left tackle. But if I get a good, solid left tackle, 25, 26, 27 years old, I prefer him in the draft. I get a good veteran left tackle. You know what? I bring back Graham Glasgow. I draft a couple guards. And don't forget the kid they got in the deep freezer in Wisconsin. I can't pronounce his name, Beto or whatever. Don't sleep on him developing him. So, they got some young guys there. I keep Wiggins at Dow. I keep Dow. Let Wiggins walk. I go to third, fourth, second round and give me a good left guard. You know what I'm saying? I look at my running backs. I say I keep Kerryon. I keep Bo Scarborough. And fuck the rest. I'm looking at, I'm looking at Najee Harris. I love the way he run the ball. I'm looking at Jonathan Martin. I love his explosiveness. I love J.K. Dot. But when you're looking at these dudes, what's going to separate is medical, history of getting in trouble in college, the background check, drug test. You're going to have guys drop, guys fall, guys 40 going to be slow. So, I mean, it's really premature to talk about the draft. Chase Young can go out there and have a heart ailment and drop all the way. I wouldn't do a receiver at 3. Gerald, salute. I wouldn't do a receiver at 3. I think I love Jerry Jeudy. I think he's going to be an exceptional talent. He's going to be exceptional talent. He said, I think Stafford is like Drummond. In a way, he really not, because I mean it's hard to quit. I understand the analogy, but it's hard to say, because when I see Ryan Tannehill throw for 72 yards, Mariota couldn't make that throw. That's why Mariota wasn't in the game. That corner route he threw. You telling me Stafford can't make that corner route? Maybe you're right if to each his own. Maybe he just don't have the stomach to make those throws. I could be wrong, but I think Stafford can make those throws. I think if they don't even have to simplify things. I think they do just hand the ball off to a running back. If he could do what Aaron Rodgers doing right now with Aaron Jones, I think it'd be cool. But they got to add a vertical threat to this game. A couple speed guys, but other than that, it's hella premature to talk about free agency, talk about the draft. But this team just lacked. And if I had to sum up what I did in the stream, this team lacks talent in the front seven. It lacks speed in the front seven. It lacks a run game. It lacks speed on offense, and it lacks speed at the running back position. To be quite frank, but I like what they got with Galladay, Hockenson. I like what they got in Ragnow. I pretty much like Graham Glasgow. I like those positions. I think we cool there. If Marvin Jones is going to be a bridge receiver, I don't have a problem with it. But now it's time to get fast. It's time to get agile. It's time to bring in speed. But like I said before, the thing about the quarterback position, I want to say this, and somebody made a really good comment. I don't know if it was in this stream or I was looking at somebody else comment on another thread. But you know what? I would bypass a quarterback this year. I would. The reason I will bypass a quarterback is because Trevor Lawrence. I would trade down for number 3. I would trade down with Miami if I could. They want Tua. I would take a third this year or something like that. And as long as they gave me their first this year, and I can have a first next year, I would take that deal. I would take that deal. If I can get Miami first next year, I would take that deal. Give me the third this year with a first. I take that deal because I want to stockpile up for Trevor Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? I want to get as many assets to get him next year. But as bad as they want to get Matthew Stafford the title, I don't see that happening. But other than that, man, the year it was what it was. It's just that offensively, they need to get it faster. They need to get better running the ball. But protecting Stafford, it wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? It could be better, but they need to be able to get more physical, man. You look at that line, you know what? They need to probably get some athleticism across that line. They probably need to get some brothers out there. All right? We need to get some brothers on that line. You know what I'm saying? We need somebody athletic enough and strong enough at the point of attack that can pull. But we'll see what happens. Judy at 3, nah. Y'all can ask some questions now. I'll read them. I wouldn't take a cornerback at 3. That'd be the dumbest thing you can do. Legitimately, the cornerback is your strongest position. Almost one of your strongest positions. Because Armani Orakwe, he can step in next year and do well. You have Rashad Melvin on, in the deep freezer. You keep Darius Slay. You don't keep Darius Slay. You couldn't do a cornerback at 3. I wouldn't. That's like drafting a tight end at 3. That's a developmental position. Especially when you don't have a push on the front line. That's a developmental position. That's stupid. I wouldn't take no Jeffrey Okudah at 3. Derrick Brown, I ain't seen a lot of him from Auburn, but I know he's really, really good. I didn't watch Auburn this year like I usually do. But yeah, I heard he's good, Derrick Brown. Yeah, you can go Derrick Brown. It depends. A lot of people gonna rise and fall. But if I had an ideal thing, I probably would trade down and get multiple picks this year. I know they won't trade down and get a pick next year. Speed off the edge, but one thing you gotta ask yourself is that they style. Name me a speed rusher off the Patriot edge since Belichick been there. Seymour was more the strong, stout guy like Trey Flowers. Chandler Jones, he's a good athletic guy, but he really wasn't no burner, but he was athletic. He might have been the only speed guy they had off the edge. So you gotta actually look. They don't want the Montez Sweats of the world, guys like that. The dude Davenport down there in New Orleans? They want guys like Cameron Jordan. Let me kind of give you an idea, guys. They like Cameron Jordan, Deshaun Hand. They like those guys on the edge. Richard Seymour. They don't like the Suggs of the world, or they really don't like those guys. So we can say we need speed off the edge. You want like you a Von Miller, Khalil Mack, or a Simeon Rice, but I mean they don't like that. They like those guys. But if they do get a guy like to replace Devon Kennard, I mean a guy that can stand up, that naturally stands up, is the guy that you need. Witty Merciless type, Melvin Ingram. I mean, Joey Bosa. So I mean, I couldn't believe Joey Bosa and Nick Bosa were athletic as they was in the league. Joey can stand up a little bit in the 3-4, and he can put his hand in the dirt in the 4-3. So I mean, if I'm the Lions, if I do get an edge guy like that, I need a guy that naturally stands up. That's done it before. Hopefully, the Wisconsin guard keeps developing. Yeah, it takes some time. It takes some time. He said it's not the offense. It's definitely the offense. It's definitely the offense. It's everything. It's definitely the offense. They can't run the ball. You can't have Stafford at what? What's Stafford going to his 12th season dropping back 30, 40, 50 times a game? It's definitely the offense. It's everything. If you can't run the ball and get 3rd and 1, and you can't hand the ball off, man, you're not gonna be successful in this league, man. At least you're not gonna have a successful stretch, a championship stretch. But they don't believe in speed off the edge. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Y'all keep the questions coming though. That's their problem. They have no okay bodies that fear to put in no one. Yeah, I mean, you talking about defensively? Yeah, I mean, you have to count for Lawrence Taylor. I believe Lawrence Taylor is the greatest football player ever. You could say Barry, Jerry too. I mean, name me another receiver that was the MVP. Name me another guy that was a defensive player that was an MVP. Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor was the defensive MVP in '86. It's only happened 2 times. Defensive tackle was named Alan Page or something. He was the MVP in '71. Lawrence Taylor was MVP in '86. In he was also all pro as an inside linebacker first team when he played inside. Imagine if he wasn't a dope fiend. That's the greatest football player I ever laid eyes on, man. Him, Jerry, and Barry. You know what I'm saying? You go back and watch LT, man. Somebody that dominated 2 positions. It's, man. I mean, that dude was great. I would love to have me some LT off the edge. He said that's their problem. They have no. Okay, I wrote that one, bro. You had it right. Both lines need to be revamped. Period. But before you take any skill position, but they did it that way. Dre, they did it that way already. It didn't work. So you trusting Bob Quinn with a second crack at it? They did it that way. It didn't work. At least Martin Mayhew and Jim Schwartz and Lewan was smart enough to know talent. Vanden Bosch, he set the tone for the young guys. Averill, was he a 4th-round pick, 5th-round pick? Sue, they got it right. Fairley, Mosley, Fluellen kept coming back. Sammy Hill was a good depth player while he was here for a while. They knew guys that can help them. George Johnson was another guy that off the edge that can help them. That's one thing that regime was able to identify, and that was elite or guys were good that knew their role and come in here and rush the pass or stop the run. That's what I'm saying. There's no guarantee. They built it the right way the first time. He just didn't know how to evaluate. If Snacks retired, we need to know. I mean, yeah. I mean, you need to have a backup for Snacks anyway. If Snacks retires, the worst case scenario is you need a backup plugger. Because A'Shawn Robinson, I never was a fan. So if Snacks retire, it don't matter. You should already be. As soon as he said, "I'm thinking about retirement," come on. That old line gave 43 seconds, 22 of those in the last 8 games between the two. But he said 22. I could believe that. But and when you're dealing with backups, Blog holding the ball a long time, ain't no threats back there. They can just pin. They're not worried about it. It's different. They had a lot of games when they had Matthew Stafford, and he got the ball out the game pretty quick, out his hand pretty quick though. But it was games where he didn't get touched. He didn't. But like I said, they need improvement across the board. It's no more everywhere. This team not gonna be rebuilt overnight. If we could have got Josh Allen last year, we need a defensive end. Yeah, he played that. He stood up in college. He would play that Kennard position. Imagine Chase Young and Flowers on both ends. The problem is Flowers will stand up a little bit more. But Young not that good, bro. I think everybody is buying into the Young hype. I don't see it. And I've been wrong before. I'm not saying I'm the absolute I'm genie, you know what I'm saying? But Chase Young, I don't see it, man. Michigan, Wisconsin, and Clemson, he was a no-show. Yeah, he flashed and bent and dipped a little bit versus Clemson. He made a play versus Michigan. But Chase Young, I think everybody is like, oh, Chase Young. Everybody's saying it, but ain't nobody really seeing him do nothing versus but Cincinnati and whoever the hell Ohio State played. Man, come on, man. That man, I don't believe it, bro. I don't believe the hype. It's the offense. Defense will let them get up 21 points and they wouldn't score again to the fourth. I mean, it's everything. You can't just pinpoint one. Over my last 20-some years watching the Lions, the defense played good again, the offense sucked. The offense played good again, the defense sucked. The defense play decent, The special teams suck. Man, I done seen it all. I'm gonna say it one more time. If that O line isn't revamped, somebody is going to get seriously hurt next year trying to run up the middle or Stafford dropping. It's already happened. It's already what you talking about. How you get hurt in the first place? Revamping the offensive line don't mean it's gonna be good. That's what I'm telling you. Do you trust your talent evaluators to get it right? You have to look like we could just go out there and say, "Oh, let's get him, him, and him, and him," and the offensive line gonna be better. Do you trust Bob Quinn? Like I said, he's already done that before. He's revamped his whole entire line before. It didn't work. How would you feel if we brought back Sue and he ain't coming back? He don't like it. He love Detroit, but he don't like it here. He don't like the organization. They gotta do a lot of ass kissing. But I would love to bring back Sue. I never forget I was working down there when he stepped on that dude's arm. You know I don't have a confidence in nobody in front of you. Exactly. So at the end of the day, when you ask them to go out there and get a Pacific player, that means they gonna reach. I'm just like get the best available guy, but we'll see what they do. Bring back Jim Swords. Man, I'll never forget Harbaugh pushed him. Jim Swords like, dude, come, who you think you is? Who you think you is? Jim Swords didn't have no discipline, bro, with his team. I think he learned a lot better now. Jim Caldwell he instilled discipline in that team. He kind of, he had more control than people gave him credit for it. Jim Caldwell kind of whipped his team into shape, discipline wise. They got to sell the team, man. We've been saying that. Yeah, but sure, set all those records in college. It's only so much more you gonna do in their senior year. I mean, all them records versus who? Ohio State did not play nobody. And when they played, guys, Chase Young was nowhere to be found. Please, I'm trying to see where the hype at. I'm trying to see where I seen the Von Miller hype. I seen the Buffalo Khalil Mack hype. But Chase Young, I don't see it though. I might be blind, man. I might be going blind. Hopefully not. When you gonna get hired in the Pistons front office? Pistons, man, I do basketball. I can do basketball, but I can do football. Just give me a capologist. I can do football too, but basketball, give me a capologist. I built the Pistons up for the free ball. For the free ball. You know, people get mad about what I say about Andre Drummond, but he ain't master one side of the ball. You don't pay no fucking $40 million for no rebounder. Maybe I'll go live on the Pistons tomorrow. How many more years do you think Martha has left on her contract? Man, I'm not answering that, man. Martha, the richest girl from Akron. LeBron ain't even the richest dude from Akron. I looked that up. Martha Firestone, aka Martha Ford, is the richest person in Akron right now. From Akron. That Martha enjoy her money. I ain't mad. I waited 30 years, man. I could wait another couple. I ain't wishing that upon nobody, man. It's a wonder at 90 years old she still can walk around and shake hands and point and fire people, man. I want to be that sharp if I get that old. We need to move back in the draft 3 or 4 spots to gain more and fill the roster out, but I can't find a great in the draft. You can move back with Miami. All you gotta do is start a rumor that you looking at Tua or Burrow. Start evaluating quarterbacks. I guarantee you somebody look up what's the draft order. Hold on. Well, that's all you gotta do. Y'all want somebody moved up for Trubisky, bro. Let that sink in. Somebody moved up for Trubisky. So behind us, you got the Giants. They don't need a quarterback. The Dolphins, they need a quarterback. The Chargers need a quarterback. Carolina could need a quarterback. Arizona don't need one. Jacksonville, they could need a quarterback. Cleveland, not right now. The Jets, they probably need to think about getting a quarterback. The Raiders, they need a quarterback. Tampa, so you got a lot of teams that'll let them move up to 3. So that's I would just start evaluating quarterbacks for the 22 fake. That's what your boy would do. What I like about Chase Young is his sacks are spread out across the games. Man, versus who? Please tell me. Did Trevor Lawrence get sacked by him? Who you got for D coordinator? That D coordinator don't matter, man. That shit. That's Matt Patricia calling the defense. That's who your D coordinator is. Ain't nobody about to come in and change. That's his side of the ball. It don't matter. He gonna bring in a Patriot guy. Pascaloni was not no D coordinator. He was just a nigga there getting a check because he was cool with him. Bob Quinn needs to pick the best player at 3. Yeah, or trade back and get more picks. Either or. If it's a dog left tackle up there, then I ain't mad at it. And Watson was sitting right there for the bit. Man, Watson and my homeboy. I'll give my homeboy. He was at Texas Tech. But he sent Baker Mayfield to Oklahoma. And he sent the other dude gone too. Was another guy down there at Texas Tech with them. He sent gone. I'm pretty sure Patricia started taking over the defense. Man, that's his defense from the beginning. From the very beginning, that's his defense. Wasn't no taking over, bro. You know how you got like Mike McCarthy and then somebody else his offensive coordinator, but McCarthy really called the plays? That's what that was. You know how you got an offensive coach that still called the plays? Patricia calling the defenses, bro. Everything go through his headset. Hold on real quick. Let me show his name. All right, my bad. I got some other news coming though, man. Man, this is gonna be another great live. Okay, I'm gonna ask a few more questions. I got some more stuff. I got some other stuff I gotta watch, man. It's been the month. I got some more stuff. I got trap line been going on, man. Okay, so what he said? Patricia D is ass. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Mike Lombardi came on like I said, 97 won a ticket. And he said this. That's the same defense he was doing with the Patriots. Very conservative. But the old Wisconsin coach coming to interview, he the Patriots D line coach. He left Wisconsin to go to Arkansas, man. That was the dumbest move he could have made. Arkansas want to be Alabama, but they just ain't. I don't know what's going on, the budget or whatever. What do you think are the top 3 positions that need to fill above everything else? William Wimbush. It's hard to say because you don't want to reach at 3. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to go reach and then somebody good go. But if I say if everything equal, um, left tackle, because I think you get a right. I think you get a right. I wouldn't take a guard. Well, obviously, you got a center. I think we need a backup center if we don't bring Graham Glasgow back. Let me say that. I wouldn't draft a guard. I wouldn't draft a right tackle at. I wouldn't draft no offensive lineman but left tackle at 3. A edge rusher, and then if I had a third position, it's gonna be the linebacker / running back. If it's a special running back up there, that's what I'm looking at. I'll take Brown over Young. I gotta look more at Brown, man. I usually watch Auburn a lot. I used to stay down in that area, man. So I gotta watch Brown. I ain't watched a lot. I've been watching Chase Young. He in the Big Ten. I've been watching LSU a lot more, man. But LSU got their best defensive player freshman. But Dale Pitts, the safety, he pretty good. He kind of had a little drop this year, but I like Joe Burrows though. You know, I think Cincinnati. I don't think they should throw him into the fire. I would retain Andy Dalton, and I would walk Joe Burrows through being or Tua. I would suit Tua out a year and let him learn, man. Them situations too bad for them to walk into. Miami, even Detroit, Cincinnati. I wouldn't walk them into those situations. I think San Diego is a good situation for one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? I would sit those guys out a year. You know what I'm saying? I would bring Andy Dalton back for a year, build Joe Burrows up. I'm Miami. I would, Tua build him up. I put Tua in the weight room. Even if Tua 100% healthy, he got to get in the weight room for a year. I had him squatting and working on this weights. He got to get stronger. You know what I'm saying? Joe Burrows, I just have him, just ease him into the offense. Maybe the last 2 or 3 games of the year. I said, who in free agency you? So I don't know what free agency look like yet. We all had dudes sign a franchise tag, the whole nine. With that whack ass Jerry Davis playing, he get toasted. It really depends on what the Lions doing for it. That's another thing. Free agency come first. So yeah, man. But yeah, I'm excited out of here, man. For those, I'm gonna go live on my other channel, man. I'm gonna go live over there. But I do appreciate y'all, man. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button if you like the video. If you didn't, hit the thumbs up button and let me know where I gotta improve at. But other than that, man, I'm gonna answer this last question, man. He said Lions will continue Jim Animal QQ to be trashed until they're owned by someone else. Would a first timer, Quinn a first timer, Patricia a first time. Lions organization is incompetent, bro. Yeah, man, Woods don't have a football background. Of course, they need to be somebody that did it and done it before. Like I said, I like Ozzie Newsome to come here, Bill Parcells to come out of retirement. I mean, somebody that did it before, man. But hey, that's my personal opinion. Appreciate the love and support. Don't forget check my other channel out, Goodfellas Sports TV. And I'm gonna keep dropping dope content, man, and on both channels. Appreciate the love, man, and appreciate it, man. I'm gonna go live on some Pistons another day, man. Hopefully tomorrow, man. But we gone.